Are you ready for the heavyweight championship of the world? Are you ready?
All right, welcome back. My name is Bill, and I'm ready to fight.
And my name is Barry, and I'm ready to fight.
All right, I want a good, clean fight. Let's get it on.
All right, welcome to Ending This Corner, where we settle the score once and for all on who's the best. That includes best music, best TV shows, best movies, best anything, basically. So this week, tell us what happened, Bill.
All right, so we have some interesting things going on in pop culture, I guess we'll say, Barry. One being the Issa Rae Insecure issue going on with the sorority, Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. Mm-hmm. That's one, and we're gonna discuss that for a while, and after that, we're gonna jump right into the Busta Rhymes.
Yeah, how come nobody wanna fight him? All right, so
what's the problem?
Yeah, all right, so first, let's get into the Insecure. So just a couple things. I know they had some backlash, and before we get into the backlash, me and Bill would like to share. We're part of a Divine Nine fraternity, so we're Phi Beta Sigma members. Bill, what you crossed? What year?
I crossed fall 1997.
Exactly, and then I crossed after Bill. I'm fall of 2K6. Me and Bill are both deuces. We're number twos. So and even prior to that, we grew up on some of the same content to where that's something we aspired to be as children. So I remember I got my first taste of Greek life from school days. Showed up on a special presentation after In Living Color one night, and I just kind of fell in love with the process. My step team coaches throughout elementary, middle school, and high school were all MPHC members, like members of fraternities, historical Black fraternities. And then, Bill, you had a couple just mentors in your life that were a part of something, you know what I mean? To where, we always saw it. So I guess I got a couple questions for you, Bill, and I do not know where you stand on this. And I told you, don't give me your 2 cents, because I didn't want you kind of poisoning the well, for lack of a better phrase.
Well, Bear, before you do that, let's give a little backstory.
Okay, what happened?
So basically, Insecure, which is in its fifth season. I don't watch Insecure, so everything I'm discussing is about what was told to me and what I've been researching. So there are characters on the show that are portraying themselves as members of Kappa Alpha sorority incorporated, and I guess this last episode, one of the characters was in a jacket, had the paraphernalia on it, and I guess someone on social media questioned it, and basically that pushed the snowball down the hill and is taking a life of its own right now.
All right, so and I do watch the show, so I mean, one of my homegirls put me on. It was like, hey, I make people watch movies, so she was like, hey, you're gonna have to watch this show. So I watched it. I liked it. I've been a fan of Issa since back in the day. She had a YouTube series, Misadventures of an Awkward Black Girl. So ever since then, I wanted her to win. She grew up on a lot of the same shows I watched, so there's a lot of Living Singles references in there. Well, characters that she brings on, either mentioned or starred. So I'm like, I appreciate her just kind of like showing love. So basically, like even though they're in their fifth season, I know there's also another character who plays Issa's best friend on the show. She's an AKA. It was a little bit more subtle, where she would drink out of an AKA mug. And this time they went full out and put her in the jacket. So my question to you, Bill, is do you have an issue with this?
So this is my take on it. I grew up on School Days, as you stated. That was my first introduction to Greek life. And following that, I jumped right into a different world. So those are my two introductions to Greek life. School Days, you had some representation of the Divine Nine. The Kappas and the Alphas were on there. Dap's girlfriend at the time, she stated that she was going to pledge Delta. However, the main characters were a part of two basically made up groups: G5G, and the Gamma Rays. There is a fraternity called, or a service organization called Groove Phi Groove that utilizes obviously G5G. However,
but it's not
that wasn't
Gamma Phi
based
Gamma.
on it. It's not exactly. It's not Gamma Phi Gamma. So it wasn't based upon that. So you have that in on Different World. You also have Kappa Lambda Nu, which is
the proud, the few, the men of Kappa Lambda Nu.
Lambda Nu, which that's what Ron was a member of, who's also a member of
Alpha Phi
Divine
Alpha.
Nine. He's an Alpha as well. Whitley also, she was a part of Alpha Delta Rho.
Alpha Delta
Rho, which basically, if you look at it, is basically the AKs. It was, you know,
and the AKAs were in that episode, by the way.
And the AKs still, yes, they were actually
in the back.
They had a line, but so I grew up on both of those, and those, I think that they understood the significance of a historically Black Greek letter organization.
Mm-hmm.
So they knew not to actually, they knew not to say that they were a part of that.
And it helps
sorority.
It helps that the showrunner was also, she's a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha as well.
And so, Spike Lee knew as well, being at Howard.
Yeah. So all right. So it sounds like
Morehouse.
It sounds like in a tactful way, you're saying not that basically you're saying it shows some negligence on Insecure's part. Am I getting that? That's what I'm getting.
I think personally, again, this is me, and I had discussions with other people. Some say, what's the problem? They're getting exposure, blah, blah, blah. I think personally, they could have just made a fake fraternity or sorority that has been done way before them.
All right, so here's what I'll say. So all right, I always believe there's two types of people in an organization. There's going to be the individuals who they're going to take it extremely serious when it comes to stuff like this. Like, hey, don't be touching my umbrella, or don't be touching my hat. This hat is hot. And there's going to be the individuals that are extremely nonchalant. It's never any middle. It's always going to be one extreme to the other, right? So I think if you do a show, you have to be mindful of that sometimes the individuals that take it too serious, they may call you out. So am I offended? Number one, I'm not an AKA, so I'm not offended, but also, do I understand why there's some backlash? Yeah, because I've been around Greeks long enough to know that some individuals are just going to take it extremely serious. Now, here's the thing. Because I respect Issa Rae so much, and I feel like this is definitely some negligence on like HBO's part. And I'm gonna give a Different World example, right? And I may be right or wrong. So individuals, put your 2 cents in the comment section. Please. But all right. So it is very difficult to get respect to where you could just go to an embroidery shop and put letters of a fraternity, not just Divine Nine, but any fraternity on your paraphernalia. Bill, me and you love Different World. I tried to get Kappa Lambda Nu hat, which is a fake fraternity. And they would, I went to 4 different places. They would not do the hat because it's like, oh, we don't rock with fraternities. If it's copywritten, it's like, we got to go to nationals and stuff. I'm like, no, it's fake. This is a fake fraternity. I finally found a spot to do it. So that's how difficult it is to get access, right? Now, here's the thing. I think we need to be a little forgiving when stuff like this comes up, because as much as I respect Different World for not putting Me Phi Me, and when I say Me Phi Me, that's individuals that aren't part of a Greek-lettered organization, similar to the character on Insecure, which is Tiffany Dubois, which is Amanda Seales in real life. She's an AKA in the show, but not in real life. I'm not so sure this didn't happen in Different World, because I've always Googled this and I cannot find an answer. If somebody's out there can find an answer for me, there's a character on Different World. He actually has the most roles of any other character. That's Michael Ralph, who's the brother to Dee on Moesha, and also Rita's mom on Sister Act 2. I do not think he's an Alpha Phi Alpha member, but early in the early seasons, maybe like, let me say 3. So he's seen in the pit with the curl, and then also an Alpha Phi Alpha sweater. And then after that, they started putting him in Kappa Lambda Nu sweaters, which I'm like, okay, I think somebody must have checked her and was like, hey, you can't have actors in these Greek lettered outfits. Just hire extras, and then we'll bring some people from the nearby campus on or whatever. Now, I can't prove that but everywhere I look, Michael Ralph is not represented on their list of actors who are alphas. So to me, that shows because Different World didn't have the luxury of social media, basically Debbie Allen was able to get called out behind the scenes to say, hey, chill. You might want to chill. And then she never looked back, and then she had it right from until the last season. So I'm saying we may need to get that same we may need to be as forgiving to Insecure, because I think when it's all said and done, Insecure is going to be regarded as a classic. And that's great advertising. My question is, hey, this isn't personal to me and you because we're Sigmas. If this happened with a Sigma, how would you feel?
Okay, so I'm gonna swing back around to something that you stated earlier. You have to also realize that, Bill Cosby, who's an Omega, he was still had his hand. He still had his hand in. So he also knows better, right? So although I'm not an AKA, obviously I'm not an AKA. We still are part of
a family. It's a family.
It's a family.
Yeah, it's a community.
So I wouldn't want anybody to, if you're not a member, wear any of my paraphernalia. And I understand why someone else doesn't want anybody to wear their paraphernalia. Now, to piggyback also what you said, I had people, well, not me personally, but I can walk in any Greek store here in Tampa, buy a shirt, and no one would question whether or not I'm in that fraternity. I had shirts made. You
buy them for probate shows?
I had jackets made. At no point did they ever question me, was I a part of that organization? So that's just the kind of, I know you stated earlier that it's hard to get something embroidered or made, but I had plenty of shirts and jackets made. Remember, they never questioned me at all.
I went to school in the same area you talking about, and it was just easier over there. Like I showed you the hat that I was going to get made, and I'm like, it's never this difficult. I had jackets made for some of the young bucks that was coming through the frat, and I'm like, why is it all of a sudden different nowadays? But I showed you that design, the Kappa Lambda Nu hat, and everybody was like, oh, we can't do this. We're not touching fraternity stuff right now. To where a lot of times the people who will touch it, they're those individuals where it's the LLC or sole prop, to where it's like Palladium that's right by USF or whatever. I guess because I went to a bigger place that was in the mall, just because they don't have a lot of those spots in closer to where I'm at. But no, I totally agree. I didn't understand it, but I know it's difficult. So now here's you brought up a valid point. It's not that difficult to get access to these letters, right? So what happens in this, it happened already, right? Somebody on staff got a jacket, got a hold of a jacket, and they put it on the actress who's not necessarily an AKA. If this was Sigmas, like obviously, like you said, we're all a community, but I have to make it applicable. I would probably feel a little like weird if it was like, okay, now they doing too much because the Sigmas or whatever. I don't know if it would get to the point where I'm gonna go sell them out on Twitter. But how do you think, like, number one, I want to ask you, if this was Sigmas, how would you react, right? And how do you think it would get handled? Because I'll give you my 2 cents on that.
Okay, so I would, again, if it was my fraternity, I would feel a certain way. I want to use an example. Best Man. Morris Chestnut, who's a Sigma, they made him, or they portrayed him to be an Omega in the movie. It was a scene where he said, Omega, whatever. But again, for me, what you are a Sigma. What's the issue with, you're saying you're a Sigma? Because for me, they're not going to take you out the movie. They want you. hey, bro, I'm a Sigma. Like maybe the writer did not understand, hey, you know, this is for real, for real. So he didn't, you know, he went along with it.
Right, so here's the
thing.
Here's the thing. All right, so this is what I want to bring up, and Amanda Seals brought this up as well. Certain sites saying things, and when I was undergrad, remember, like we used to have our interest meetings, and we're telling people who, hey, these are Sigmas. My go-tos used to be like, hey man, we got the original members of the Temptations. That used to be my favorite one. Now we got some of the key members of Earth, Wind, and Fire. Morris Chestnut used to be one of those that we had on there, but there were also conflicting reports to where, are we positive he's a Sigma? I'm not sure about that. Terrence Howard was another one. At the time, it was like, wait, is Terrence Howard really a Sigma? Because the site is saying he's a Sigma, but it's not on our national website. So what's up? And then the other one was Blair Underwood, right? And then because of these rumors, which I'm going to actually answer how I think our fraternity would handle it. Blair at the time, there used to be sites that would say, oh, Blair is a Sigma, Terrence Howard is a Sigma. And then they weren't, but what our headquarters did was they reached out to those guys and they made them honorary Sigmas, because it's like, look, everybody think you guys are Sigmas already. And actually, we've actually got some membership intake because of you guys. Let's make this a better match to where we want you to be honorary members. Okay. I think that's how we could have put a bow on this. I really think that's what the AKA should have did, to where it's like, look, y'all wildin'. Hey, look, y'all tripping. Let's fix this up behind the scenes. You're portraying us in a positive light, which is awesome. This is a phenomenal show. People watch this show and they want to be like you. They want to be like Molly or whatever, to where it's like, hey, let's make you guys honorary AKAs to get this thing right. But now, if I'm one of those actresses, I don't want to rock with AKAs right now because they're getting cursed out and dragged.
So somebody else stated that, you also stated, it's publicity. Yeah. You and I agree. We know that they don't need publicity.
They don't. They've been here since 1906.
They don't. There are three, I would say three for a fact, three organizations that do not need publicity. The Omegas, Q-Dogs, the Deltas, and AKs. And the reason why is because their popularity is scattered everywhere. They're so popular. You cannot hear Atomic Dog and not instantly think of Omegas. Everybody knows, if you see purple and gold, you hear Atomic Dog, everybody knows.
You hear a bark.
You know, but you know what it is. Now, again, what happened is, if you're using the shield, right? We know the shield.
I don't agree with that either. I think it was a misfire through staff. My thing is, okay, it happened. What does y'all cleanup duty look like?
But now, this is the thing. That's the thing, though.
Yeah.
The shield is trademarked.
Yeah.
You know about trademarks.
Yeah.
So if you jump back to Stump the Yard, at the the step show at the very end, right? All the Greeks are stepping, right? You see the Omegas. We know they're Omegas. However, the background is blurred out now. It's blurred out.
Yeah.
It's just purple. Same thing with the Sigmas and same thing with the Kappas. You see no shield. We as Greeks know who they are because we know the colors and we know how certain steps go. But the likeness was there. However, the actual shield and certain things were not there because people have trademarked certain things, and you cannot, without without going through the channels and going through whatever, you cannot use my shield for your monetary gain or whatever.
Yeah, and I think typically you don't see big networks like HBO let stuff like that fall through the cracks. I would say they've been more responsible, and because here's my thing: when it comes to the fictional fraternities, because I watch School Days nowadays and I feel a certain type of way that Sigmas don't have representation. So to me, Dab's crew was Sigmas to me. I'm like, no, those are the Sigmas. Those are my Sigmas in there. But so I would say it feels different when it's not the authentic, even if you're not going to say the organization, if it's color wise, I'm like, those are the Qs, those are the alphas. I always appreciate that more than a fictional fraternity, right? So I think they were a little bit more responsible towards the earlier seasons when it was just like, it's always in the background. It's on a mug. Nobody's wearing it, to where somebody, like, I guess, wanted to tiptoe the line. Who knows? This could be a publicity stunt. This whole thing could be actually a publicity stunt. Like Issa and them could have been like, oh, okay, this is, I don't know. I don't think they wanted smoke like that. But I would say, okay, it happened. At the end of the day, I feel like it was a misfire. Somebody who didn't understand how serious this was did it. And then I do feel like, just me listening, I'm always mindful when the Divine Nine is portrayed in a negative light, because these are people that I grew up looking up to. I had female teachers who were Deltas, SG Rose, Zetas, AKAs. So whenever you say something negative about them, I'm like, it kind of reminds me of my elementary school teacher, et cetera. The overwhelming majority on social media is this paints the AKAs in a negative light. I don't care how much publicity you don't need. I don't care how much community work you do. Stuff like this may only be a trending topic for a week, but it is painting it's making them look petty. And that's why I was like, hey, this could have been handled a different way, I think. You know what I mean? Like, I felt like having possibly like a neophyte or a younger individual say something on Twitter and then everybody snowballs. It should have been a couple of folks that stood up to be like, hey, actually, I see where y'all could have did a couple of things different, but I'm gonna just blame that on ignorance. But hey, for future references, this is not what we do. You know what I mean? However they were responding, it egged Issa in a way to where she was like, well, I guess we're gonna have to delete 5 more episodes because it's gonna be an ongoing theme. And that was like,
well, I tell you what, if they send that a letter, or which is gonna come from their nationals. You cannot use my stuff.
That's what I'm saying. But even the idea of, to me, these things shouldn't be happening to where you got a show that's about to enter the lexicon of Black classics. You also have an organization that's been here forever. You know what I mean? This thing been here forever. So it's like, boom, find a way to peacefully resolve this, because to me, that's not a good look. You know what I mean? It's like,
okay, but Different World is cemented as one of the greatest shows of all time, in my opinion, obviously. I don't look at Kappa Lambda Nu as like, dang, it's made up. I'm thinking like
some of that is
pretty dope.
Yes, some of that is because, remember, I'm talking about me because I'm already in the Greek. So whenever I see stuff, now when I see like Theta Nu Theta, I'm like, yeah, but y'all the alphas. It would have been nice if the alphas would have gave y'all some rank to like say, hey, y'all can use our likeness, use our actual stuff, to where just like the what was the rivals? Theta Nu Theta? TNT? They were the Muse, but the Muse. Who are they acting like? They sticking out their tongues, they wolves. I'm like, okay, y'all acting like the Qs, to where it's like, I understand what this is doing. This is me being on the other side of Greekdom. But prior, I saw all that stuff as fascinating because I just didn't know. Like, it was, I had to get older for people to school me to be like, nah, it's actually 9, here are 9 type stuff.
But they were made up for a reason, though. That's the thing. The Kappas used to use the Playboy Bunny on everything. All you used to see is the Playboy Bunny. What did Hugh Hefner do?
He said, hey, it's a wrap. So even
they immediately had to remove that stuff because
that's what I'm saying.
You're gonna get sued.
Yeah. So even though we offer that same opportunity to like major corporations, I'm being vocal in saying, nah, like AKAs, it's not even petty at this point because they didn't have permission. So they do have a right to feel some type of way. Like,
yes, they have a right. They have right.
Y'all might have to pay. Oh, what's up? So give me some of that HBO money. You know what I mean? Yeah. For me, I would have liked to have seen it resolved in a peaceful manner. And this isn't far-fetched. Like, so I wanted to bring up a couple of examples where some honorary situations throughout history where I always scratch my head like, okay, that happened for like some like cleanup duty. But like you mentioned, the Blair Underwood, Terrence Howard, I used to always see them on sites as Sigmas, and they weren't Sigmas. Phi Beta Sigma got it right and said, hey, we're gonna make you guys honorary Sigmas or whatever. And then and another one, founded in 1906, the Alphas, one of their most prestigious honorary members is Frederick Douglass. Now, Frederick Douglass lived from February 1817 to February 20, 1895. The organization wasn't founded until like 11 years later. So that means they were even inducting people in death. So I'm saying it's not far-fetched for people to kind of fix up a situation or whatever. So yeah, and that one's kind of funny to me, but I'll let that slide. But yeah, so all in all, let us know what you think. I'm interested to hear from Greeks. If you think it may be an overreaction or underreaction, I'm also anxious to hear from individuals, pardon me, individuals who haven't been in the organization to say, hey, how does this look from the outside in? You know what I mean? So add your 2 cents down below and let us know.
Down at the bottom.
All right, hey, Bill, we got something else to talk about. Yeah, it's a fella named Busta Rhymes, has a lot of hits. Definitely he would fare well in a battle, but unfortunately he's calling folks out and they're not answering the call. So
well, they're not answering for a reason.
Yeah.
One thing about the people in Verzuz, again, it's like a family. You best believe when Fat Joe called out, or when Fat Joe answered the call for Ja Rule and vice versa, you best believe both of them knew each other's catalog.
Yeah.
You best believe you already know Brandy and Monica knew each other's catalog.
Yeah, so sometimes you're walking into an L with a smile, and some people just start willing to walk into an L like that.
So when you look at Busta Rhymes, and my earliest memory of Busta Rhymes is Leaders of the New School.
Yep.
Right.
It's just another case of that PTA.
Exactly. So that's my earliest, and he stood out.
Yeah.
You know, he stood out. And then my second memory of him is Scenario.
Yeah. Yeah. What's the scenario? Yeah.
Which, in my opinion, he stole the show.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So as you move forward up until today, he has dropped hit after hit after hit after hit.
Woo-ha!
After
Got
hit.
you all in check. When disaster strikes, and then the features, Janet Jackson,
the videos, like
I think the videos is what really sets him apart as well. So here's the thing.
Yeah,
I don't think there's anybody above a Verzuz. I think sometimes people just don't match well. Some of the people that I would have picked. Yeah, somebody. And what I mean by that is, if you have a catalog out there, best believe there's somebody who could go toe to toe with you. Unfortunately, some of the people that I would have probably matched up with Busta have probably went already, or they're out of the running. Like if you take away because of the production, it makes it extremely difficult for Timbaland. But I'm like that Virginia sound, I feel like meshes well with Busta sound. So I think Busta is in a similar boat like a JD, to where he's either gonna have to like battle somebody that has a better catalog, and a lot of those people aren't doing verses right now, or he would have to battle somebody where he's gonna wash them for like 15 rounds. See what I'm saying? So now for me, what I did is I looked at a couple of things, like who matches up well with him. I looked at an artist who touches different genres, right? You mentioned Leaders of the New School. That's early 90s. I remember Living Color features and everything like that, guest stars, a musical guest. And then when Disaster Strikes era, where he recreated himself, that's like mid to late, that's late 90s, but then you also had the mid 90s where it was the woo-ha, got you all in check or whatever. So obviously he touches, and then 2000s, Pastor Cavassier, Baby When I Give It To You, the Mariah Carey features and all that, Janet Jackson. So different eras, right? That's like 2 strong decades of hits, right? And then within those decades, there's different eras. You also need a type of person with different types of singles. Busta Rhymes does not sound regional. He does not sound New York. He does not sound Southern. He does not sound West Coast. He just makes popular music, right? So you need somebody whose catalog is going to mirror him from that perspective. And right now, beggars can't be choosers. You just need to pick from the pool that's left. Like who's left that fits the buckets that I just talked about?
They're scared. Like, obviously take away the Jay-Z, because Jay-Z's not going to do it.
Yeah.
Take away Kanye, take away Drake, in my opinion. I don't think either one of those two are going to do it.
Well, remember, I said I want to see somebody that's touched the 90s. 2000s.
Yeah. But I'm just
Jay-Z,
saying.
I agree with. Yeah.
Just take those three out. Just remove those three.
Okay.
Who has enough hits?
Remember,
hits.
You can't beat them. You just have to hold your own for like.
You got to hold your own.
Rounds.
So you would have to think about somebody like, at this point, LL Cool J.
See, listen. The first person I got on my I got 4 names, but I out of the 4 names that I got, I do agree LL Cool J is the best fit, right? So you want to hear the other names? I put Nas fits those buckets, but he doesn't fit. His music sounds it sounds regional. Yeah. So I put him in for the same reason you put in Jay-Z. He was around during those same eras. I don't agree with that matchup. Yep. Ice Cube was around for those eras. Ice Cube music sounds extremely Western, like westernized. West Coast. To where it's but at the end of the day, you can hang with them for a couple of rounds. And then the other one that I got is, so Ice Cube was the closest. The other one was Scarface, and it doesn't fit. That's worse than Nas. No. And then the last one is LL Cool J, who beats him by a decade. LL Cool J was around for the 80s, but I feel like that's your best option. And honestly, I feel like it would actually be a decent matchup. And it's not, beggars can't be choosers. That's just who's left from the pool. I think that would actually be a decent matchup.
It may be. What could you do? They're scared, bro. Think like but see the problem. I think even with the,
I don't think LL would have said no though. I don't
music is going to stop at a certain point.
Yeah.
I think one of his biggest yet latest songs would be probably Headsprung.
Yeah.
Right? Or maybe another song or two after that.
Yeah.
Busta Rhymes he was just on Look at Me Now. Well, I know that song is some years old.
Yeah.
But he was on Look at Me Now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I clocked him in at 2000. I stopped at 2010, but he's had some other features afterwards. So I'm like, oh, this actually, you could play this on Verzuz, But so the way it would work, LL would basically be able to play stuff from the 80s where Busta would and then Busta would be able to surpass him time-wise for a decade. So LL would predate him by 10 years to where Busta would be able to hang around for 10 more years after. But to me, that's the best thing that's on the table right now. I don't see him going up against anyone else and it being an interesting versus.
It will have to be.
Bro, I already look. No, it's trust me, like Scarface was me scraping the bottom of the barrel to say, oh, Scarface has been around this long, but their music, and it's not no disrespect to Scarface. I rock with Scarface catalog heavy. It's just that they obviously make different type of music.
It's totally different music. And I like Scarface. Scarface is one of the greatest rappers, storytellers of all time. But
it's just
to be honest.
Yeah,
it would look bad up on that stage.
Yeah, so I no disrespect to a lot of the people that I named. It's just saying that Busta Rhymes gonna be playing Pastor Cavassier and Ice Cube playing F the Police. You know what I mean? It's just That's not a good match. It does.
It's not a good matchup.
Am I supposed to be angry or I want to dance? It's just not. So I do feel
that's not a good matchup.
Yeah, the LL Cool J stuff to me it's like Busta Rhymes had a way of being suave. Like, okay, like even the Mariah Carey, Baby If You Give It To Me type stuff. It's like, oh, okay, he talking to a female and it's basically a romantic song. LL Cool J got a lot of that. But then Busta Rhymes just has a lot of stuff that, man,
he's going to perform out there.
Yeah, even now, like a lot of his posts still go viral.
I mean,
a lot of his stuff still go viral.
When you talking about he's going to hit you with touch it, break your neck, put your hands up.
Yeah,
what's it gonna be, and and bust what it is, right? It's just.
I don't forgot about some of this stuff.
That's what I'm saying. It's so it's just the amount of hits. Like, and it's just popular hits. So it's kind of like the Fat Joe Ja Rule, where Fat Joe had a lot of great songs, but Ja Rule just had so many hits.
Yeah. So with that being said, beggars can't be choosers. Like I said, you have to pick from the pool. You have to play who you want to play.
He might not have a person to go against. Well, he literally might not, because he called out T.I., but that's the clash of styles.
Yeah. I feel like remember when you're big in the NBA, remember those years where it's like the Nets were making it to the finals, and it's like those are the championships nobody really wants to recognize. That's kind of like how I see this Busta Rhymes matchup. It's like, okay, I feel you, but you have to go on stage and do a versus. Just play who they put in front of you. And a lot of the people, I don't feel like they're calling. I don't think so. I'm focused on somebody coming out and being able to challenge him for 10 rounds, not win 10 rounds, but it's like, hey, can you give him a run for his money? Can you tie some of these rounds and win 5?
I mean, if you're just saying somebody who has hits to go against him. Ice Cube he's
that's what I'm saying.
And I'm not saying, I'm just saying, does Ice Cube have an amount of hits? Yes, Ice Cube does. He has everything from NWA to his individual stuff to West Side Connection. Yeah, plenty of hits. And he has features, plenty of hits. But that's a clash of styles.
Which is why I'm like, me and you, the fact that we both had this on our page, I was trying to justify it and say, well, Bill gonna think I'm tripping, so let me tell him how I worked my way up to this. So that's the only reason why I was like, Bill, I put some thought into this, because I'm like, he can't go up against Nas, he can't go up against Scarface, he can't go up against Ice Cube. So I'm thinking LL. I thought you were gonna be like, no, but the fact that you only had that person,
the only person.
Yeah, okay.
It's the only person I can really think of that. Like,
or is it? Because watch somebody in the comment section go put something down.
Please, somebody in the comment section.
Hey, we forgot about him, or we forgot about her. People are saying Missy. I don't think that's a good matchup. Only reason why I don't like to see artists go up against writers and producers. I feel like it cheats. I like to see like what I saw with Timbaland and Swiss. Mm-hmm. Oh shoot, they wrote songs for all these people. I like that type of energy where it shows the eclecticness of their record. I want to see Missy go up against another writer or a producer, which is why I'm leaving producers and writers off I'm leaving producers, like heavy producers, off the table, because although Ice Cube produced some stuff and wrote a lot of stuff, I'm saying Missy wrote a lot of stuff, and I just don't want to see her go up against a person like Busta, who was mainly regarded as an artist. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's
absolutely.
I don't want to see that matchup. I know that's what everybody doing, and I'm like, yeah.
I don't understand that matchup though. I don't understand.
It's because of the video.
Why?
It's strictly because of it. It's because.
It's a video, but we're talking about.
That's it.
If you're saying just the music,
it's not. It's only the videos. If you watch Give Me Some More, it looks like a lot of it is the same directors who get Hype Williams. Hype Williams did a lot of that. And I don't know. I don't know if you start matching up artists because of that. Just start matching up the directors. No.
Yeah, man, you have to you want it to be strategic. And one of the times that we talked about before, where we talked about has versus matched up producers and have they matched everybody up pretty, in a pretty good way. I think for the most part, yes. But I thought about it. I think Manny Fresh and Scott Storch,
the early ones,
I think that was a little, I think that could have been a little better.
Some of it was the early ones. That was during COVID. So it's about who you could get.
But even DMX and Snoop.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it, I kind of don't really like the matchups. I'm glad they both did it, but
I never liked the matchup.
The matchup is just not. It didn't flow. I think Jadakiss and X would have been really, really good, because both going to perform.
I feel
that would have been really good.
I don't think that would even work because DMX had bigger records. You know, I think
he had bigger records, but Jadakiss has also been a part of some big records.
I would have respected Ja Rule and DMX more than
that would have been good. That would have been a good
one.
One.
To me, I'm like group like terms. It's like, okay, hits, features, errors, and then Busta Rhymes is that sweet spot to where he's almost being penalized for doing some features on the back end of his career, to where it's like it gave him an extra lag on his resume, to where a lot of people are like, I can't go up against that because I'm early 2000s. Busta Rhymes is mid 2000s and after. And I'm like, okay, he almost is penalized for his work ethic and his longevity. He's penalized for his longevity. So
yeah, I mean, like hey man, fine. Like he said,
LL Cool J is all we got right now. But is it? Yeah. Let us know what can they do, Bill?
Well, it's funny. Well, before I do that, right before the KRS won that battle, the day before they had Supercat, he did a little concert. He told Busta to come on stage. They played "Put Your Hands Where My Eyes Can See." He started rapping. He told Split Star to get up on stage with him. So Split Star came up. So they started, doing their little thing. He stopped it. He said, "Hey, find me a worthy opponent." Dropped the mic and walked off. And everybody was like, "Oh, like
he coming." He's coming.
They just have to find one.
Yeah, and honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if this is their first repeat to where they find somebody who's already went to be like, look, we probably messed up from the gate. This person should have went up against you, and just go up against him now. They might do that, to be honest, because a lot of the people that I would actually pair him up with, they've already gone. So one person in particular. So if they did a repeat, I could see them doing that, but we'll see. Hey, Bill.
But yeah,
what's up?
Go down to the comment section, my 2 cents. If you agree, write it down. If you don't agree, write it down. Who should Busta Rhymes go up against? Write it. Put it in the comments. Y'all know what to do.
Yeah, cool. And then, hey man, if definitely appreciate you guys for always coming back.
Yes.
Hey Bill, how could they show us love in an alternative way?
Show us love by liking this video, commenting, subscribing, and hitting that notification bell so that when we upload any videos, you guys will get the first hand. You would know firsthand when it comes.
That's what's
up. We need you.
Sure, we need you. We appreciate you guys. Outside of that, Bill, that's all I got.
That's all I got.